Need some suspension work and shocks and brakes, brake pads, lining, steering box, transmission, rear end.
Ka-chow.
Just don't see no cars! It works! I love this button!
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
All right, welcome back to the Unnamed Movie Car Podcast. Recording at you live from Washington, I want to say.
I don't know. Where is this?
Filmed in Canada.
Is it? Okay.
It seems like such an American homegrown movie, and it was shot, I believe, in British Columbia.
It could be. Could be.
I have a trivia fact for it later. But we watch Hot Rod. Hot Rod, starring Andy Samberg, the 2007 comedy special. Not comedy special, comedy movie. So, if you're new to the show, thank you so much for checking us out. Check us out on Spotify and iTunes. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, check us out on YouTube. I think I said that right?
Yeah.
Did I mix it up?
I don't know. If you're watching us on YouTube, listen to us on Spotify.
Yeah.
If you're listening to us on Spotify, check us out on YouTube.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay.
So you can actually see the cover art.
Yeah, which so the cover art, I'm switching it up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just doing the
still crayon.
Still crayon.
Okay.
And still hand drawn. But
good.
I'm just doing the names of the movies.
Okay, good.
Just because I would do pretty intricate details of the cars.
That's true.
And then it's a tiny thumbnail, and it just looks like a crayon blob.
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
get
trying
you.
to just do the title of it.
Yeah.
That's good. In a nice vibrant color, and it's all hand drawn by me still.
And we we in case you've never heard us before, we wait 10 minutes for spoilers, and then you'll hear.
Yeah, so when you hear the Ecto 1, spoilers
Yep.
will commence, and we'll be talking about the movie. So.
Yeah, there's that.
So we do a little bit of a 10-minute pre-show
Yep,
here.
exactly. So that's it
gives you 10 minutes to decide if you want to watch the movie or not, which I would highly recommend.
Hot Rod, by the way, is 15 years old in 2007. That's not a spoiler, but just so you know,
that is pretty
plenty
wild.
time to watch it. But yeah.
But yeah, also, they took this off of all streaming platforms. There was a moment where it was on like three different streaming platforms. And now
it's on nothing.
It's on nothing. I checked Hulu, Amazon. Nick, my brother, your son, actually gave me a TV. He had a smart TV.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
he gave me like a 32-inch smart TV, which is now
cool.
up above my computer.
All right.
Which makes watching and streaming stuff way easier than the Xbox.
$151 million studio.
So, speaking of our $151 million studio, we had a new visitor the other night. Did you hear about this?
No. Who do we have?
There was an earthworm that came in through the window over my shoulder.
An earthworm?
Yeah. And there's another dead one. It must have fallen and it wrinkled up and died.
Well, I think that might have been planned.
Yeah,
I think he might have. He
Yeah.
really didn't want to go on
anymore.
anymore.
The road.
But
I came down here the other night to prepare some stuff.
Yeah.
And up in the window, I saw this black line, and I thought it was string, and then it was moving. It was a thick earthworm.
That's bizarre.
So I put him in that cup and brought him outside.
Oh, okay. That's what the cup is doing there.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you have to understand, we've had torrential rains for days.
Torrential rains.
I mean,
we do have a subterranean studio.
We do, and our neighbor, who has this white beard, is building this big boat in his front yard.
Oh, yeah.
His name is Noah. Anyway, so...
no, we've had very bad rainstorms the last week or so.
Lots of rain.
And so our studio always gets an influx of spiders, and I've seen centipedes.
In the spring.
In the spring,
we get a ton of insects.
But I've never seen an earthworm down here. I was like, you are really lost, buddy.
Yeah, that is really weird, but it probably came through the...
I could see there's a physical hole in that window.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh,
we might want to get a little bit of expanding foam.
Yeah,
Just
that's supposed to
block that
be...
whole thing off.
Well, I think it's supposed to be an emergency window.
Oh, that's
no,
probably...
well, the one over there behind the one that you can't get to, because I've got too much crap piled in front of it, is the large emergency window for exiting the basement. But and in the Midwest, we need our basements because of all the tornadoes.
Right.
So,
So I do have one more thing for pre-show.
All right, let's talk about
I have this printout here. And you know I always printouts are always
here we go.
nervous.
Here we go. Yep.
So we've been talking about how you wanted to get into voice acting on Fiverr.
Yes. That is true.
And you haven't done it. yet.
No, I haven't.
So, you know my philosophy. Just do the thing. And if it sucks, it sucks, and we can get rid of it. Yeah. So I printed out 3 ad reads.
Oh,
and I figured we could just take the time now, and I'll shut up, and you can just do these ad reads into the microphone.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And then, so then these will be your clips. So then you'll have 3 different ad reads you could throw up on Fiverr.
Okay.
You'll have some. So here you go. Here are 3 different ad reads.
Seriously, I have not.
He hasn't seen
these. I haven't seen these. So I have no idea.
Googled test ad reads, or what did I Google? I was like practice ad reads. So the first 2 are fake ones. Then the third one, I just copied and pasted the script from a Mazda CX-5.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
So Fiverr is this great website. You can hire artists to. I've hired an artist to do voiceover for one of my videos. I commissioned a theme song for my channel as well, and it's a great side hustle. But and my dad here wants to get into it. But you just haven't recorded it.
No, I haven't.
I figured might as well take some time here. We have everything set up. We have it
true.
recording.
My voice is actually pretty raspy right now because I've had a lot of post-nasal drip.
You're ready for a fresh new episode.
That's right.
Whenever you're ready, if you want to read these off, I pulled these off just a random website. It was like practice ad reads, and I did car ones just to keep
that's
car
good.
Related. So, whenever you're ready, you can go for it.
Well, these are cold, so I have no idea.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
true.
great
That's
at cold reads, but I'll try. Okay, so this is script 1. Okay. All right, so script 1. The future. You used to chase it. Now you're living in it. The Wavefront is an all-electric automobile that propels driving into a new era. With sleek aerodynamic design and ultrasonic sensors that prevent collisions, there's no more getting left behind. Life's short. Drive fast.
Nice. So that I think just like a fictitious electric car. I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think this one's for like some type of product. But yeah, and whenever you're ready.
Yeah, that was more of a. I don't. Okay, so let me just read this real quick.
Yeah.
First read through a new cause. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to add about Fiverr. But it's a great website. I'd seriously recommend checking it out. And it's a way to make some side money just doing voiceovers and stuff. Yeah. I paid a guy $85 to read a minute worth of dialogue. So
yeah, well, I mean, it too. I mean, it'll be interesting. I do this at work for the videos. We have training videos that we do, and so I'll do those at work. But anyway, so script number 2. As a parent, I want to know that my kids are safe wherever they are. That includes riding in the car. With the new carpool optic from Solar, I can breathe easy, knowing my kids will arrive where they need to safely, whether I'm driving or not. Whether I'm the driver or not. So I don't know.
Oh, that's fine.
Anyway.
That's good. And then the last one's just a Mazda CX-5 ad. I think this is a real ad, too. But yeah, so...
All right. Well, then I can... Okay, let's see. Script number 3.
Yeah, you're fine with time.
Right.
Do you want to read it over first before you say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you're fine. You can read. I'll vamp for a second.
Okay.
So my philosophy with everything is, I always tell people this, like with the reviews I've done, is that like just go out. My biggest thing is just go out and do the thing, because whatever you want to do, whether that's art, whether that's start a company, whether that's literally anything. For me, it's making videos. Your first anything is always going to suck. Your first customer is going to be weird and rocky, and your first day of business, if you open a storefront, is going to be hard and it's going to suck. But that hopefully leads to day number 2 being a little smoother. You kind of know what to expect. Day number 3 being a little bit smoother. Same thing with videos. My first, second, third, fourth, fifth review, they all sucked. I would argue like my first 100 reviews were pretty rough. But now I've done almost 800 of them. I'm in the 790s. Exactly.
Yeah. You've got your pattern down.
You get your pattern down, and it's comfortable, and now it's very second nature. So if you want to give your third ad read here.
I'll do the script 3. I believe computers are important in design, but it's the human touch that creates design with feeling. Creating a form that appeals to your heart. Why are we so passionate about perfecting designs by hand? Because driving matters. introducing the all-new Mazda CX-5.
Cool.
Whatever.
Yeah, they got rid of Zoom Zoom.
Did they?
Yeah,
oh, thank goodness.
Mazda didn't done Zoom Zoom for a long time.
I never liked the Zoom Zoom.
Really?
Never.
That's funny.
I never liked
Don't we know someone that knows the lady that came up with Zoom Zoom?
We do. And I, you know.
Can I get her on my podcast? The
Probably
Shooting
could.
Cars
Yeah,
podcast?
yeah, you
That'd
probably
be really
could.
cool,
I could ask Jeff, and we could see if she'd be willing to do that. I mean, I was never a really big fan of that.
Well, I get it all the time.
I'm sure.
Mazdas, people are like, "Oh, Zoom Zoom," and I'm like, "Shut up."
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's I think part of it was I don't know, for some reason it never hit me right. I never really liked that.
Yeah.
But,
so there you go. Now we have 3 solid clips of audio you can toss up. At least you have it. If you hate it, don't use it. But
it's true. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You're absolutely right, though. Absolutely right. Just go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
I was just watching a masterclass with both Aaron Sorkin, the screenwriter for the West Wing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Aaron Sorkin. It was Aaron Sorkin. For some reason, I can never get his name right. And the Steve Martin was doing a class, and basically both of them said, "You just got to jump in, do your work." And you'll suck at first, and you'll get, especially Steve Martin, go up on stage. He said, I started with absolutely no talent whatsoever.
Yeah.
And he said, you just go up there and you develop it and you learn it. And he said, even his first job as a writer, the guy who hired him basically said, okay, this is the punchline and this is where it goes on the page, and basically explained to him how to write. And so he just learned it as he went, but he jumped into it. And
that was Steve Martin?
That was Steve Martin, yeah. So
it's
so
nice of Selena Gomez to really give Steve Martin a spotlight in their Hulu show. She was really discovering this new talent of Steve Martin and Martin Short. Was that
Short.
the guy's name?
Oh my gosh,
they're gonna have great careers now.
Only Murders in Our Building.
Yeah, thanks to Selena Gomez.
Yeah, thanks.
Bringing these up and comers.
Yeah, these newcomers. Yeah, they both super talented, super seasoned veterans of comedy.
Yeah.
Delivering, what a fun show that is. Only Murders in Our Building on Hulu.
Only Murders in the Building.
Okay, so Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, great Hulu show.
Great Hulu,
really great. Tons of twists and turns.
It was one where your mom and I, we watched it together and had a lot of fun watching it.
Did you say about my mom? Anyway, heyo. The other thing is just that I always try to tell people is that a lot of people are scared of wasting time.
Yep.
They're like, well, I don't want to waste my time with this thing if it's not going to come of it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you're going to feel like you wasted more time not doing something.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does. It does.
Because I always tell myself, I wish I started doing car reviews a year earlier than I did.
Yeah.
Because I remember I wanted to do it for about a year before I ever filmed my very first one.
All right.
So this is probably, like middle of 2014.
Yeah.
So I filmed my first one summer of 2015.
Wow.
And so I wanted to do it for so long, and now there was so many more cars, not so many more cars, but probably a good handful of cars I could have reviewed in that year.
Yeah.
But because definitely I had the opportunity to film our neighbor's Mazda Speed 3.
Yeah.
Which was the car I learned stick shift on, such a cool turbocharged hatchback.
Right.
I never got the opportunity to film another one of those until last month.
Wow.
It was like my 780th review.
Yeah.
So because of that, I couldn't find another one again up until recently. And I'm hopefully filming a car this week that I would have been able to have filmed 6 years ago, but then it was actually my grandparents' car, the old Buick LaCrosse.
Yes, right, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm filming one soon, and so I would have been able to film that in 2014 had I, had the nerve to do it. But now I've waited.
Well, here's the funny thing: is
8 years,
7 years ago. That was 7 years ago, right?
Which is crazy, but yeah,
right. So at the same time, that's when I put up that tornado video that I did.
Oh yeah,
and so I regret not having done more of those because now it's up to 144,000 views, which is 141,000, which is pretty cool for me. and I have 236 subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
So eventually, I mean, it would be fun to do another one. It kind of renewed my wanting to do it.
Right, yeah.
But I wish I had kept doing it, like just did a whole bunch and had, hundreds like you do, hundreds of videos, out there.
Yeah, I have almost 1,500 videos.
1,500 videos.
Posted,
That's nuts.
which is insane.
Yeah, it is insane. And lots and lots of views.
800 of those is reviews.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy that that's a little over half. I feel like reviews is like all I do.
Yeah, that's crazy that you have so
yeah.
many videos out there. Yeah, but
anyway, we are way past the point. We can start talking about Hot Rod here.
Yeah,
Get off our Gary Vaynerchuk high horse.
Right, exactly.
Do you know who Gary V is?
No, I have no idea.
He's like this. I guess he's like this motivational speaker, but he's like very aggressive.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
He goes by Gary V.
Okay. I go by Cracker Pops now. That's my name, Cracker Pops. I like that.
He's like this overly aggressive. He's like, in one of his interviews, he was like, I would cut both my arms off just to be 25 again. And everyone's like,
wow.
What are you saying?
Wow, that's great. Okay. All right.
He's like super intense. He's like, kids that are 25 don't understand how lucky they are. Like all this stuff.
Wow. Okay. So that's,
So we're off our motivational speaking. Just get out and do the thing.
Yep. I agree. Completely.
Let's talk about Hot Rod.
Yes.
It's a great movie. We just got done watching it.
So I don't even have to ask you how you feel about it because it's pretty obvious. We both love this movie, I think, and I kind of knew that. I did know that going into this. This was kind of an easy softball pitch in there.
Yeah, definitely.
It was just one that I really wanted to review because I just thought it was just fun. There's, again, that's another one, 2007, so that's 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this.
Pretty crazy.
With the other guys, maybe. I feel like there's another one thrown in there. This mid-2000s era of comedy is just, I mean, we're talking tens.
Oh, yeah,
And I don't know if it's, I'm sure a part of that is very rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
Hindsight's 20/20,
right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever saying you want to get put on a quilt and put it on a couch.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're talking Superbad, Pineapple Express. This is the end. That was from like one group of guys.
Okay.
We're talking Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, The Other Guys, which was in 2010, so still in that era. If we're talking Danny McBride, the 30 Minutes or Less movie.
Right.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, that's
drives
right.
a Fox Body Mustang, which is great.
That's right. That is correct.
Nick Swardson is in it. The Benchwarmers.
Yeah,
a great Nick Swardson movie as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And it's this. I think it's an era before cancel culture for sure.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Not that I think cancel culture would have really stopped Hot Rod. I can't think of anything.
I don't think so. I don't think there was anything that was. No,
but I think the whole, if you want to get grand scheme of it, I think the whole climate for comedies is just kind of hard to navigate now.
Yeah,
and so this was sort of this era, this great era of movies, and that's what this comes out of. Personally, also one of the best eras for SNL for me.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
However, I've since listened to a couple podcasts with SNL cast members on it. Everyone just idolizes when they were like 10 to 15 years old.
Yep.
That SNL is the best SNL for them, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
And the older generations are always like, oh, these new guys don't know how to do it.
Right.
All this stuff. Because you always hold, special to your heart.
Yeah.
Like, I remember here in the basement, we used to have a big red sectional couch.
We did, yes.
And me and my brother Nick used to sleep down here on Saturday nights.
Yes,
we had like
that's
a sleepover
true. Yeah.
in our own house.
That's right.
Just to watch SNL. We never stayed up late enough. We always fell asleep. We were, children.
Yeah. I don't know anything about that because I'm not a good parent. I don't care. Well, I just threw you guys in the basement.
No,
here's some popcorn. Yeah,
we used to always ask to sleep in the basement, which I don't know why.
Here's a pack of smokes.
Yeah.
and some liquor. Go down and have a party.
And I remember
That's
one
me.
time I
Good
said
dad.
I was gonna write out a quiz for you and Mom.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you guys would watch it upstairs.
Yeah,
and then
we
would watch it in the basement.
We used to always watch Saturday Night
Yeah,
Live. Yeah, Mom and I,
we
yeah.
would. I would rarely make it to like the second musical performance.
Well, and
I
now-
would always be conked out.
True, and now it's like honestly, it gets to be like Saturday night around that time, and I'm like, I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm not watching. Who's this young man on the hill?
Yeah.
So yeah, that
But,
would be.
I mean,
I don't know.
we're at least 2 SNL alums in this movie: Bill Hader and
Oh,
Andy
yeah.
Samberg.
Yes.
And
Yes, yes,
Akiva and Yorma, who also made up The Lonely Island.
Oh yes, right.
So
Who
Yorma
plays Kevin?
plays Kevin.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
Akiva or Akiv? I'm not totally sure. I don't remember. He plays the guy who gives him acid in the
Oh
ice
really?
rink.
Oh, okay.
He's the
yeah.
director. He directed this movie.
Did he really?
Yeah. So he's hilarious.
He looked like he was like 10 years old. Oh my gosh.
I think he wrote
Wow.
for SNL as well.
That's very cool. That is a very cool thing. Yeah. And I do, by the way, I mean, I don't have a ton of trivia stuff for this. I know you
Yeah.
have some trivia. I looked up the cars. I just kind of printed that
Yeah.
out. But anyway, yeah.
This is also produced by
there's-
Lorne Michaels, by the way.
Was it really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, who's the announcer, the AM announcer?
Chris Parnell.
yes,
Another
Chris
SNL
Parnell.
alum. Also,
Definitely, yeah, great.
Cyril on Archer.
Yes, absolutely. Cyril Figgis on
Cyril
Archer. Yeah.
Figgis, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Very fun. He's actually done a lot of voiceover work. And
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he has
It's
a very
cool.
distinctive voice, too.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
But, I mean, just the cast is great. Will Arnett, how can we forget?
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett.
He does a great job of this movie as well.
You know, he has a new podcast called Smartless. I think I've told you about this.
You have. I've not listened yet. I'm going
it's
to.
with
I'm
Sean
going
Hayes
to. Yeah.
and Jason Bateman.
Oh yeah,
They
that
just
would be
had
great.
Liam Neeson on. Was on Monday.
Really?
Yeah. Which,
Oh, my gosh.
Which it's Liam Neeson. Talk about voiceover.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
talking,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then I don't because they don't do video for their podcast.
Yeah,
But like,
okay.
it sounds like he's right on the mic, and he's got that accent, that Irish
He
accent.
does. He does. And what's funny about him too, I heard. I don't know if you talked about this, but I heard he was basically talking about, I can't do these action movies much longer.
Oh yeah,
because he said him like
yeah.
he's like almost in his 70s, if not in his 70s.
Yeah, he's in his. I think he turned 70 in June or something.
Okay, yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
so Will Arnett is on the podcast. And
Yes.
They actually talked about Hot Rod. I
Oh, he
forget what
did?
episode.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So
yeah.
it
That's
filmed up
cool.
in Canada, which Will Arnett is Canadian.
Okay.
But he said he was on so many cold medicines.
Really?
So he only shot for 2 days in this movie.
No.
Well,
I could see
really
him,
short,
Yeah,
yeah.
He did have little short bits,
but he was
still.
on so much cough medicine because he had a terrible cold that he doesn't really remember filming all that much of this movie. And so
You sure it was quote unquote air quotes cough
Yeah,
medicine?
yeah.
Okay. No, I'm sure it was
but
actually.
because he says people come up and because when you're a celebrity, people come up and just quote things to you.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
And he goes, a lot of people, or a handful of people in the past have gone that, no, babe,
Yeah,
babe,
babe,
no. And he doesn't remember filming that part.
Wow.
So
Wow.
he's like, it always takes him a second to remember that that's
Yeah.
from Hot Rod.
Yeah.
But he said that he loved the movie and all this stuff, and it was just like one of those weeks that he just had a cold and he just had to
I forgot.
soldier on.
Well, and I forgot that Will Arnett and Justin Bateman,
Jason Bateman.
Jason I was
From
getting that wrong.
Arrested Development.
Yeah, they were
They
both
talk
on
about Arrested Development a lot on
I'm
that
sure
podcast.
that would be.
Not to just
definitely
turn
the
this
two of
into
them.
the Smartless
Right.
fan club.
Right, exactly.
Um,
but anyway, but yeah, so definitely a fun movie. Like you said, this was back, it was in Canada. But what's interesting too is let's talk about some of the cars. They actually are older cars. I mean,
Yeah.
all the ones that are listed in the Internet Movie Database. No,
Internet Movie Car Database.
Internet Movie Car Database.
Yeah.
They are older cars, except for the Corvette. That
Right.
was a brand new one
Yeah.
when they were filming, because you have to imagine they probably shot this around 2005, 2006, because it usually takes.
I think it was shot in 2006. 'Cause
Okay.
I think I was reading. Someone wrote the movie.
Okay.
And then the Lonely Island guys, Andy, Akiva, and Yorma, they rewrote it pretty much from the ground up.
Did they really?
So they still gave credit to who wrote it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much, I think it's like a 99% rewrite.
And most movies are, by the way.
Yeah.
Most movies are completely rewritten.
But it took them 3 years to make this movie, writing it for a summer, shooting it for a summer, and then editing it for a summer because they had to work around SNL's schedule.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So that's why it took 3 years. So it started in 2005,
funny.
and then they put it out in late 2007.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense because, but it's funny because all the cars are like 80s, 90s cars.
Yeah. I have to imagine, at least I always imagine in a lot of these movies, that some of that stuff is intentional.
Yeah.
Because that's what the movie makers grew up with.
Right. Yes.
If you think about the age of Andy Samberg, I mean, what is it? It's a 96 Plymouth Grand Voyager.
Yeah.
That's probably, his parents probably had one of those.
Oh,
or
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, at least that segment.
Yes.
I'm sure when I'm older and I have kids, I'm going to sort of gravitate towards late 2010s Mazdas.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I think 'cause that's just what I grew up with. And
it is, it's true. And it does set a tone for this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems even a little bit older than it actually is.
Yeah.
But
which
it's funny.
Yeah,
to see
which
that.
is kind of nice. The other thing, I recently reviewed a 2007 Pontiac Grand Prix GXP. Let me just pop all my P's into the GXP, which means
that's okay.
It was a V8.
That's right. Yeah.
And you know, when I review these cars, I don't prepare a script or anything.
Right.
So I kind of work through my thoughts while literally in the car, like live.
Sure. Yeah.
A lot of the times you see my live reactions when I think of something. And I was driving this car and I realized I love the mid 2000s for cars.
Really?
Because I said in it, I've nicknamed it macaroni styling for the cars.
Okay. All right.
Because they're very bland, very round, but it's very much a comfort food to me.
Okay.
Because those are the cars that I grew up around. When I was 10, 11, 12.
Are you saying like 2000 to 2010 or like what's that era? What are you talking?
Like, let's say 2003 to 2013. Because then I was 6 years old in 2003, right?
Right.
And then, you know, in 2013, I was, what would that make me? 16. Yeah, I got my license in 2013. That era to me is where I was self-aware as a kid. I was understanding what cars were, but I wasn't driving cars yet. I didn't have opinions on these cars. And so, you know, to me, the styling, the super bubbly styling of the 2000s is very much like macaroni and cheese to me, where it's just sort of this comfort food. It's just something I've grown up with.
That's a good way to put it.
It's not good. I will say that most 2000s cars are pretty horrendously ugly. But to me, that's just going back to even like SNL, like we just mentioned earlier.
Right. Yes.
It's just because that's what I grew up with, and nostalgia will always be one of the most important things in people's minds. 100%.
It is 100%. You're absolutely right. And you know, the past is always the past is always better than it actually was.
Yeah.
Like in your brain, you're like, oh, it was great when I was a kid, and blah blah blah. Yeah, guess what? It actually did suck.
Yeah.
Probably the same, if not worse.
Yeah.
When you think back, you look at the past in rose-colored glasses, and you go, oh, it was great when I was a kid. I used to do this and this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, there were some things that really, really sucked.
Yeah, I mean,
when you were younger and all that. But.
And it's interesting because for the first time ever, I'm starting to experience that. Where, you know, a lot of people are starting to kind of romanticize the party culture of the 2010s.
Yeah.
With like Pitbull and like, you know, Black Eyed Peas and the Jersey Shore show.
Yeah.
And like everyone's like, oh my God, the early 2010s, going to high school in 2012, like that was like the cool thing.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Music was great. We had iPod Nanos and stuff.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Silly bands, and I could go on and on. But then I was like, those were some of the darkest years for me too.
Yes.
Like the first time I ever like battled like depression and you know, I at the time had quote unquote heartbreak, but you know, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean,
it was the biggest thing in the world back then.
It is. I mean, it definitely is. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely. It's weird seeing people romanticize the 2010s, and I'm like, the 2010s pretty much sucked besides 2016.
Well, it's funny too that we're in 2022.
Yeah.
And
almost halfway done with 2022.
Right, exactly. So that's pretty crazy. But you're right. And the older you get, the more, the nostalgia kicks in. Because you are getting to be an old person.
I am.
You
I'm 25 this year.
Old. That is
a
quarter of a century. A quarter of a century.
Yeah.
Let me emphasize century.
I got to figure out my quarter life crisis. I think it might be importing a car from Japan.
It might be going to Japan.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm looking at seriously over the winter going to Australia for a little bit.
Good. That'll be fun.
There's a guy who comments on all my videos and has DM'd me a couple times. He reviews cars in Australia.
Nice. Yeah.
And he's like, you got to come over and review some cars.
Did you do a live podcast recently? Or
I did a live stream last night. Yeah. And he was in the
right.
he was in the
I thought I
stream.
heard that. Yeah.
And so yeah, he's super cool. And I was like, if you can hook up contacts, that's all I need. I'm not worried about paying for the trip over to Australia and finding hotels and stuff. I just need the people there.
Yeah.
And so maybe Australia.
Australia would be great fun. That would be awesome for you to do. Japan would be cool. I mean, all this stuff, that would be cool.
Japan is definitely high up there. I know that they're really locked down with
right
COVID.
now.
Australia is locked down too. I don't know if I can get in this calendar year.
Well, no.
I have to wait till next year.
You might want to wait a little while to travel to that area of the world for lots of reasons. But
I got an email the other day.
Okay.
We'll talk about this country again shortly. But he was like, it was like an 85 Renault. And it was like an 86 Citroen.
Oh.
And I was like, I scrolled down location, Slovenia.
And
I was like, oh, yeah. So I emailed him back and I was like, I'm sure you know I'm on the other side of the world. But next time I head to Europe, you will be my first message.
Well, we have friends who have family in Slovakia.
Slovenia?
No, Yugoslavia, Slovakia.
Yugoslavia doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, that's what I said.
With the region. You have to tell me off mic who we know people over there?
Yeah, well, we kind of do. And so Ukraine, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So that is always a possibility.
Yeah.
It's always a possibility, so yeah.
But speaking of Slovenia.
Yep.
Let's get back to the cars.
Yes.
The moped.
Oh, yeah.
Rides,
so do you have the moped?
It's the Tomos Sprint.
Yes.
So this was built by the Tomos. I couldn't get a year.
Okay.
On
it says here. No, let me.
No year. Because you printed that out from Internet Movie Car Database.
I did.
Yeah, it didn't have a year on Internet Movie Car Database.
It doesn't. You're right. It doesn't.
But I think it's like a 90s.
I would think so.
In this movie.
I would think so.
But
maybe
Tomos,
even late 80s.
Maybe even late 80s.
So anyway,
Tomos was formed in 1948 in post-war Yugoslavia.
Wow.
And is still currently operating, still where it is, but the country has obviously changed to Slovenia.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
So it's they build little mopeds and stuff, but it was built in Yugoslavia.
Wow.
As we know, something else was built in Yugoslavia.
Yes, exactly.
Shout out to the Yugo, one of my favorite cars of all time.
Yeah. Did you ever finish reading the book about that?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay.
I am so slow at reading, and I need to.
So you got that from me. I'm a super slow reader.
I get super jazzed about a book, and I get halfway in, and then I lose steam real quick.
Sure. Yeah, that's normal.
I need to
just about everyone.
I don't work tomorrow. Maybe I'll spend some time reading.
Yeah, I saw the book recently.
Oh yeah, it's in the garage.
Yeah, I was like, oh look at it.
I brought the book to the East Coast.
Yeah, I know. That
my whole trip. Didn't read a single page of it.
I tend to do that too. I tend to take books on trips and then I don't.
Well, I was also like, hey, wait a second. I'm driving this whole trip. I was like, you know what I am? I think I'm looking. I think I am going to look into.
Listen to me. Books on tape.
Yeah.
I'm old. That is an old thing. No.
I think I need to get like Audible or something.
Audible's really cool. No, they're not a sponsor yet, but
not
Audible's
yet.
Good.
We'll see if we accept their offer when it comes.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so the little moped, the little pedaling moped was a Tomos Sprint.
That's so funny too, because when he jumps the pool, he actually pedals it. Did you see that for a couple things? He pedals it. So I just watched it again.
Yeah,
on our DVD,
the full movie, which is great. The next car I do want to talk about is the 2005 Chevy Corvette convertible C6.
The C6. Yeah.
such a perfect casting for Will Arnett's character.
Absolutely. Definitely 100%. Yeah.
I mean,
red Corvette, 2006 convertible, or 2005
it says.
Convertible, yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't want to offend Corvette owners. I really don't, because Corvettes really are great cars.
Yep.
However, I've said it in all of the Corvette reviews I've done. They are cheat codes because you pay a simple price.
Yes.
Which is a lot lower than its European competitors.
Really?
And you get a big 500 horsepower V8.
Yeah.
There's no elbow grease that has to go into making a Corvette fast.
True.
You just go and you buy the fast one. Like, that's it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so, like, guys with big egos, they go, oh, I just want the fastest one, Corvette. There we go. Where... So this certain kind of guy buys a Corvette.
Yes.
Because they just want to win. That's all that they want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the best analogy is like you just buy the cheat codes. Like for video games, I don't know if you really experience this because you don't really play video games, but
not much anymore.
A lot of the times you can buy the video game for $60. But then you could buy the Ultimate Edition for $85.
Okay.
And it has everything unlocked. It has a couple cars that you can only get by paying extra.
Gotcha.
It has a new portion of the map already unlocked.
Gotcha.
All the characters are unlocked.
Just like Wordle. No. You know what? We talked... Sorry, I didn't mean to yell.
You're good.
We talked about Wordle. I was listening to a podcast about 3 or 4 podcasts ago. We talked about Wordle, and I'd never seen it before. You talked about how your girlfriend likes Wordle.
Yeah.
And then
Every day.
mom is the one who said, hey, you'd like Wordle. And I'm like, because she's like, you're a word person. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Now I do it every day.
Yeah.
So
do you
very,
have a streak
very funny.
Going?
I do have a streak going, but I
don't clear your cookies.
I know, because there's
no sign in.
I know.
Wordle.
I know.
Listen, the guy who invented Wordle, which I know you're listening, had a sign in.
Yeah.
Because my girlfriend just lost her 56. No, I think it's like a 72-day streak.
Oh wow!
Because she cleared her cookies or whatever.
You mean the word of the day?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't. I started in April.
Okay.
I started in April, and I started in late March.
Okay.
Did the full month of April, and I'm now doing May, and so I got my little trophy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I found it to be a wonderful time waster, and I do mean that in the best way, because there were times like when I had to go pick up Nick from the train station, and I literally was like, "What am I going to do here?
Yeah.
I don't want to get into something heavy. I just want to waste a little bit of time." Wordle
and
was
it really
a great
does
thing
twist your brain.
It does.
Pretty good.
It does.
So
anyway, so going back to the cheat codes and buying the cheat codes.
Imagine if for for 99 cents a day, you can get the first. It'll give you, I don't know, 10 of the letters.
Right. Exactly.
It'll highlight or delete 10 of the
right.
letters.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
That's what kind of buying a Corvette is like.
Sure. You just you jump ahead.
It's this beautiful analogy because Corvettes are made out of plastic.
They are.
Their interiors are pretty garbage unless you get the 3LTs or the Grand Sports.
And
and so this character, this guy that's all so obsessed with image and this, sort of, for lack of better terms, a douchey, loudmouth guy.
Sully.
Yeah, Sully.
Sully.
Having the Corvette, a bright red convertible Corvette. I mean, if there's any more symbol of, hey, look at me, it's a bright red convertible Corvette.
Yeah. Which is funny, too, because around this time, when I was working at the bank, the first bank I worked for, there was a guy who was part of the whole group, and his name was Sully.
Oh,
and
really?
So around that time, that's where
I remember Sully. Yeah.
So funny, but you're right though. And for this character, for this time, that was the perfect vehicle.
I think another modern interpretation. A lot of people hate like Subaru WRX STI bros.
Right? Yeah.
And a lot of them are like big into the gym. They have the big muscles. They vape. All this stuff.
Yeah.
And I said that in my review of the WRX STI as well, is that, they just want to have the good one. They just want to have the fast thing. They want to be fast. They don't care about... It's different if you've ever met a guy or girl that has taken a slow car and made it super fast. Yeah. They are a completely different breed of person
True. I'm shaking my head. Yes, true.
Like
Absolutely.
all of my friends that
totally
have taken 100 horsepower Miatas and they're making like 200, 300 horsepower. That's hard to do. And so that is a different type of person.
Mm-hmm.
In my experiences, those people haven't been very selfish. They haven't been, super self-centered. Or have this big ego, because there's probably a lot of failure that went into that.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are guys that will buy a Miata and throw a $12,000 turbo kit onto it, or have a shop do it, and of course you do get the douchebag guys with a turbo Miata. That's not what I'm saying. But anyway, I thought this casting of a car was absolutely perfect.
And I'm going to just throw in my whole thing about Corvettes. In the beginning, the early Corvettes, awesome Stingrays, just looked cool. I think they're very, very cool looking. Then for a long time, there was a long period where I didn't really find the Corvettes like that appealing at all. Some of the new ones with the sharp edges and everything, those are kind of fun. They remind me of the supercar kind of thing or whatever. So, I mean, I've had kind of a love-hate relationship with Corvettes. I mean, my friend... Our friend with the pool has the Corvette and let me use it in a movie, and it was a really cool Corvette.
It was a red C3.
Yeah, really cool convertible. Nice, really nice, and very cool looking.
Somehow Chevy got a V8 to make like 130 horsepower. I don't know how that's physically possible.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's because that's an oil crisis car.
Oh, okay.
So it had all this emission stuff that they're like, oh yeah, our brand new like 5.5 liter V8 makes 130 horsepower.
Maybe there was like 5-inch gaps in the piston rings or something.
Well, that's why in the 70s rotaries were so crazy, because they were making 100 horsepower with 1.3 liters.
They were tiny
when the
engines.
Corvettes were making 150 horsepower with 5 times the displacement.
Exactly. That is crazy. No, it's a good point. But yeah, so the Corvette for this movie, this is great. There's a bunch of I think they did a really great job with casting the cars for the characters and everything. The van that they have, the Dodge Ram
Grand
van.
Plymouth Voyager. In dark purple as well.
But Rico, was it Rico?
Yeah.
He has a Dodge Ram van. It says Ram on it. It's a van.
Oh, I don't have that one written down. Is it a Ram 150 or something?
I think so. I don't know. It's Dodge. It's a 1986 Dodge Ram van.
Oh,
that's what it says.
Oh,
yeah, that's Rico's van.
Mike,
yeah.
I remember those now.
But
okay,
But the other one, and that's great because that's a perfect van for this character. Also, though, I've got a bunch of them here. What was the van that they had? It was It was
the Plymouth Grand Voyager, the purple one that he drives Bill Hader to the hospital in?
Yeah, the Plymouth Grand Voyager, 1996. That's what I mean. Like, these cars are like 90s cars.
Definitely. I mean, the 96 Voyager, I haven't reviewed, which I would love to.
That's a family car, man.
That is that's exactly what I'm talking about with macaroni styling.
Yeah.
I'm coining that term, shooting cars 2022.
And you love minivans, right?
I do love minivans.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, at most, I don't know how many people your age are that into minivans.
Well, here's the thing, and they just make life so much easier.
It's that exhale.
Because everyone's like, I don't want... It bothers me because your generation doesn't like minivans.
No. Correct. Because we were on the cusp of that, or we were in that area where it wasn't cool to have a minivan. That meant that was the family. So we didn't want to, when we got old enough to buy a car, we didn't want to buy a minivan.
Yeah.
So the crossovers came.
Right.
And that was the period. So for us in my age range, it's
I don't
different.
know what's going to happen with my age range, but something I've noticed is that the older generation...
Do you think minivans will still be around?
I hope so. I hope so. I don't know.
It's curious, but...
I'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
But
your generation.
The older generations had station wagons.
Yes.
That was the family hauler.
That was
then
cool.
the next generation
Those are cool.
didn't want to be like their parents.
Yes.
So
correct.
they're like, let's buy minivans.
Right.
Minivans are great. We saw that in the 80s.
Yep.
The minivan
Absolutely.
came out.
Yep.
The Town and Country absolutely destroyed. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But then the next generation came, arguably your generation, and said, I don't want a minivan like my parents. I don't want the minivan like the previous generation.
Yep.
I want crossovers. I want an SUV.
I think that's what happened. Yeah,
and I think that's what we're living out right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think when my age gets old enough, I don't think we're going to want SUVs.
Probably not.
Because there's
Probably
been
not.
an absolute slaughter of every car
is
now an SUV.
That is true. You're
brought
right.
the Eclipse back as an SUV.
Yes.
The Ford Mustang Mach-E is an SUV.
Is it really?
Yes, it's an electric SUV.
Okay.
Chevy, there was rumors that they were going to make the Camaro into an SUV.
Didn't they? Wait, what car was it? Was it the Mustang? You just said the Mustang. Yeah, Mustang was an SUV.
Which they still make the regular Mustang, so that's fine. But
all right.
yeah, they used the Mustang name, whatever. So I think there is this sort of generational.
Yeah.
I don't, because no one wants to be like their parents.
No.
Whether they face it or not, no one. And, the
Nope.
Breakfast Club is like, oh, we already are our parents, whatever. That movie was whatever.
That's
fist
a
bumping on a
throwback.
football field. That's all that movie is.
Don't you forget about
It's like
me.
35 minutes of kids trying pot for the first time in a library, and then a fist bump in a football field, and a BMW E28.
Yeah.
One of the dads drives a BMW E28.
An E28?
Yes.
Okay.
It's I think like a 528i.
Oh, okay.
But the chassis
okay,
code
yeah.
is an E28.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Because there's that scene in Breakfast Club where they all pull up and you see everyone's different financial situation.
Yes, exactly.
That was like how they set up the class system.
Right. Exactly.
BMW badge comes into view.
Right, and then there's the minivan, right? Or is there a minivan in there?
There's like a K5 Blazer and all this stuff. But anyway, no one wants to be like their parents, so
Nope. No, but true.
I think the minivan is dying. And you asked, do you think the minivan will still be around? I hope so.
Yep.
They sell a lot better in foreign markets. However, no American brand makes, well, Chrysler makes a minivan, but that's it.
Yeah.
Chevy and Ford gave up on it years ago.
Okay.
They don't sell as well. They just don't sell as well anymore. Kia still makes one. Honda and Toyota still make one. But they don't sell as well as they used to.
Well, I wonder, there may be some, because, okay, like you said, station wagons were the big deal, then minivans, then
no one
SUVs.
wanted,
But so some sort of evolution is going to happen. I mean, you got to think that.
Or we're going to become the generation that like, oh, you don't buy a family hauler because cars are autonomous and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, true. Right, yeah.
And, people are saying kids born this year probably won't get their driver's license. They probably won't need one.
Well, wow.
That's the thing to think
interesting,
about.
yeah. Because if you look 16 years into the future, that's a long time.
Well, if you look 16 years ago, there wasn't even a hope of a car that could drive itself.
Right, yeah, but true.
Volvo had this really funny in the end of, I think it was the 2000s. They had a car that would auto brake, which like most cars auto brake now. Our Mazdas do that.
Yep.
But there's a video, they did a big demonstration. They invited all the journalists out and they had the Volvo do the auto braking and it came around the course and it didn't see the truck and it just slammed right into the back of the semi-truck that they
Are you
set
serious?
up. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's really awful.
Hilarious.
Wait, didn't you try a car once with cardboard boxes and the automatic?
Yes, because you just saw that video.
I did see the video.
I put it in the pop-up headlight video.
Yes.
My grandparents, mom's mom and dad.
My grandparents are dead.
Right. Well, and your parents are dead.
And my parents are dead. Yes.
Are you Batman? Your parents are dead. You're allowed to start your Batman story arc.
I can be a vengeance seeking
and here's the thing.
Yeah.
I know we want to build our
I'm Batman.
Nice. Okay. Our Dodge Charger Crown Vic.
Yes.
Dodge Charger's not far off from the new Batmobile. We could just make
true.
the new Batmobile
it is
out
true.
of a Crown
yes.
Vic.
Yes. Very, very close. I love the new Batmobile. I think it's really cool.
But anyway, I did that crash test with it was a Cadillac XT5.
It's hilarious.
It had like a detection system, and we had, I think we had just bought this Ottoman. I think that's the box
Are
that
you
I
serious?
used. I think so.
Okay, all right.
That was the box
this
that
Ottoman
I used in this
is
video.
actually older than you think.
And so I put a big cardboard box out in the middle of the street, just let the car do its thing, and it absolutely plows this this cardboard box.
And the look on your face too, you just go like right through it. It's like Kip and Napoleon Dynamite. It's like, dang it.
Yeah.
You know, as he runs over the Tupperware in the truck and then drives away. Dang it. Yeah, you just run right into it. It does no stopping.
That was at the time, that was my longest review I ever did. That had to have been 2018, maybe.
Yeah.
That was before I took it seriously. But anyway, so I love minivans. There's nothing more practical than a minivan.
True.
Nothing more practical than a minivan.
True. Yeah.
I think of any car that's $55,000.
Yeah.
A Honda Odyssey Elite, which is about $50,000.
Okay.
Is the most worth your money car. Because it has 3 easy to get into rows of seating.
Yeah, the Pacifica was hard to get into the back.
Putting kids in car seats too. It's hard to do.
It is very difficult.
Vans have the sliding door, so kids aren't gonna ding the car next to you.
Which is great. That is awesome.
This Honda Odyssey that I did had a built-in vacuum in the trunk.
Oh, that's cool.
So when they spill their cereal, goldfish, whatever, you just vacuum it up. Has an easy removable bag. You just dump in the trash.
Nice.
It runs off the car's battery system.
Nice. That is cool. That's
very cool. Rear seat view, so you can look in your infotainment system. There's actually a security camera.
Oh, wow.
Pointed at the second and third row.
All right.
So you can keep an eye on your kids.
Wow.
And it's an infrared camera, too, so it looks like ghost arms. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Hilarious.
And there's also, they have a system there's a microphone by the driver's seat.
Yeah.
And it'll, basically, it's like a PA system, and it'll echo your voice throughout the whole car. So you can actually talk to someone in the third row, and they can actually hear you.
So the old... If I have to pull this car over,
it gets real person. You can ASMR that message. You go, hey, bud, I will pull this car over right now.
I will end you.
I will karate chop you.
If I have to pull this car over.
If I pull this car over at this Buc-ee's gas station, you will not be returning home.
Yeah, exactly. So,
shout out to Buc-ee's. But yeah, so... minivans are just fantastic. Getting back to the movie, I've always wanted to drive a Plymouth or Chrysler. I believe it was just the Chrysler Town and Country or Plymouth Voyager. Same car, different brands.
The Plymouth Voyager was cool.
Plymouth, I believe, in its later years. Now, Plymouth defected, I think, in 2004. Plymouth was a lot bigger in Canada. Actually, from what I've heard and read and seen, I don't know why Canadians just seem to prefer the Plymouth badge. Kind of interesting over regular Chryslers. Because they had the Plymouth Neon up in Canada.
Well, and that
we might have gotten that here too.
No, that is interesting. Why Plymouth? I don't know why, but sometimes that's just how it works.
If I were a betting man, I would put money on the fact that Buick does not last more than 7 more years here in the United States.
Buick? Are they still around?
Yes.
Okay.
They don't make any sedans though. It's only crossovers.
That's it?
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, I was reviewing that Pontiac the other day, and I was like, back in the day, you could get a V8 in any sedan that GM made.
That is true. Did they ever make trucks?
Buick?
Yeah.
No. Actually, they did make a minivan.
Did they?
Yes. It was a rebadged Chevy minivan, obviously, but it was some Buick minivan. It was like a luxury minivan.
Yeah.
Which is just strange.
That is strange.
Buick,
but it's Buick, yeah.
Only one GM brand still makes sedans.
Really?
Cadillac.
Cadillac makes sedans.
They're barely holding on. I think they have 2 of them: the ATS-V and CTS-V, which I think are now the CT6 and the CT5. Oh, and they do have the CT4, so they make 3 different sedans, I think.
Okay,
but that's it. That's the only GM brand. Chevy doesn't. Buick doesn't. GMC never did because it's GMC. Pontiac doesn't exist. Saturn doesn't exist. Saab doesn't exist. I'm missing one. Oldsmobile doesn't exist.
Wow. That's crazy. That those
Cadillac is the only brand that makes sedans.
Sedans. Right now. Wow, that is really nuts. That is totally nuts.
Ford gave up on sedans. Ford doesn't make any sedans. No Lincoln sedans. No nothing. No, wait. The Lincoln might make the Continental. Now that I think about it, but still.
Yeah. You know what else is nuts?
What
is the fall in this movie?
Oh,
where he's dancing.
Nice bringing it back.
He's dancing in the.
Go on tangents.
He's dancing in the forest, and he's like doing the absolute, Footloose ripoff.
Oh yeah,
he's doing a parody of
Do you know
the
how
dance
long
in
he
Footloose.
falls?
No.
Okay, I have it in my trivia.
You do have it in
I do have it in my
trivia?
trivia.
Wow.
We'll talk
It is
about it later.
long.
It's great.
And I want to point that out because that is a really classic and a great use, and we'll talk about it probably more in a little bit, but it's a great use of over-exaggeration where you just continue a joke on and on and on until finally it's so funny because it's going on for so long.
There's like a reverse bell curve to these jokes.
Yes, there is.
Where it's really funny at first and then it's like, come on.
Yeah.
It's very much like sleepover humor.
Yes.
Where it's funny,
right.
sort of funny, funny again. Very funny. Very funny.
You're absolutely right. It is it's almost a reverse bell curve, like a dip, because...
That's what I said, reverse bell curve.
Oh, you did say, okay, never mind.
I'm smart.
I wasn't listening.
College educated.
Whatever.
Yeah. I've actually been holding my diploma in your face this entire time.
Yes.
Viewers can't
see
it.
You can't. That's right. I see it. They spelled your name wrong. Anyway... no,
I think they might have actually.
Well, you do have a long name.
Yeah,
you have a very long name.
Yeah, it's weird that you guys gave me 4 middle names.
We did like 15 middle names.
Yeah, it was all the crayon colors. It was weird. Way before Elon Musk was naming his kid AX-12E or whatever.
Exactly. No, we
suggested password from Google.
Well, and yes, your first name was going to be Crayon. And I think we mentioned this before. Your name was going to be...
This is like an episode 2 joke.
Right. Well, your first name was going to be Crayon, and then it was going to be spelled X with the letter X.
Right.
So that if we knew that if someone called up and said, hey, is X home? We would say, well, this person doesn't know our son Crayon.
Yeah.
So...
Why did you make my middle name Alexander? I think I asked you this the other day.
Why did we?
Yeah.
Lots of reasons. We didn't. Okay, number one, we didn't know that you would like the name Zach. Yeah. Zachary. Zachary is a very you either like it or you don't. Fair,
up until like 6 months ago, I didn't know I had the choice when I was a kid. I could have gone by something else.
We didn't tell you, but we should have probably told you. But we thought this through. Like first of all, we thought Zach was a good, cool name.
Yeah.
Zachary, Zach. And then we thought, well, what if he doesn't like it? So then we thought, okay, we'll give him a middle name of Alexander. So if he really wants to go with something like Alexander,
but did you just get it from
Al
like a baby book, or did you know someone, or it just came to you?
It just came to me.
Was it you or Mom?
It was me. I think it was me. And I was like, okay, let's say Alexander because that goes with Zachary Alexander. That makes sense. Yeah. Kind of a sing-songy thing. And then we thought Alex, Alexander, however you want. And then the last name, unfortunately, you're stuck with unless you want to change it.
I will say, when I was a kid, I did feel very left out that you and Nick have the same middle name.
Oh,
and
really?
I don't have this. I didn't have the same middle name.
I could have called you Edward, but I hate. I don't say. I can't say I hate Edward.
Yeah.
But it has no meaning in my family.
Yeah. Anytime I ever hear the name Edward, I don't even think that you and Nick have that middle name.
No,
that's not even on my radar.
I sometimes forget that. Honestly, I forget that my middle name is Edward. My parents got it because I was born at Edward Hospital. That was the name of the hospital, Edward Hospital.
Yeah.
So that's really where my parents got my middle name. And I was like, well, that's dumb.
Is that why my middle name is Ford Taurus? Hey-o.
Ho!
Shout out to my friend that there was actually that was just a Mach 5.
I was trying to stop the one because it's too long. It's too long.
It is too long.
Anyway, the Mach 5 didn't go with it. But you have a friend whose name is...
I have a friend who was almost born in an Arby's drive-thru. That's a true story.
Wow.
And to be fair, I haven't talked to this friend in probably 6 or 7 years, so I'm sure they're not listening to this. But
I hope you don't feel left out.
No. That was just like one of those kid thoughts of where I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very jealous of my older brother, but I think that's sort of just growing up.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, you guys are both very different people, and you're both, I am so incredibly proud of both of you. Yeah. You guys both have amazing talents in different things. Yeah. And so, and it's funny, I never thought you'd be the one to follow... Well, I want to say follow in my footsteps, but video making and making films and movies and stuff like that, I didn't think you. I thought Nick was going to do that.
Really?
Yeah, when he was younger, I was like, oh, that's why you see the pictures of him holding the video camera. Because I'm like, oh, someday it's going to be neat. And then had the keyboards. You were on the keyboards.
Really?
Yes.
Musical talent thrown out the window.
So,
yeah.
But anyway,
I did. I played the piano the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, I was helping my friend Tyler move into his new house.
Oh, that's right. In the pouring rain.
No, it was the sky was turning black when we were moving him in. He moved into this nice split level house. Almost same layout as Grandma's house.
Wow.
Still alive Grandma, not dead Grandma.
Oh, okay.
And they had a piano that came with the house.
Oh,
in the
really?
Basement. So I played Ode to Joy.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Which was funny because
That's
they were
awesome.
upstairs and I was just like playing the piano and they were like, that was kind of creepy. And then I swear on my life, this is a true story.
Okay. I
was like, oh, let's go check out the garage. So we go into the garage.
Yeah.
So they just heard me like eerily playing Ode to Joy really slowly in their basement on a piano that they hadn't even opened yet. Like it's just an old piano that's sitting there, little out of tune, all this stuff.
Yeah, of course.
We go into the garage.
Yeah.
A single light is on, like a interrogation light.
Is it swinging from the top?
Almost. And in the center of this empty, brand new garage was a safe. A black safe.
A black safe.
Tyler and Rebecca, who bought the house, very close friends of mine.
The light swinging in the darkness.
They don't have the code to it. Basically, they don't have the code to it. The safe was not there when they did the home inspection.
Seriously?
So a black metal safe,
wow,
has appeared in the middle of their garage.
That's
between the time that they inspected the house and when they were moving in. Because they were both like, that's not our safe. And I was like, okay, let's see if it's open. Not open.
Does it have an alternative? Does it have a key that you could open it with a key?
I don't know. I have a video.
Because if you can open it with a key, I could probably pick it.
Oh, that's true.
So
it has like buttons on the front. It's like a code.
Oh, okay.
Probably not then.
No.
But I have a VHS filter on my phone, so I took like a quick video of it, and it's super creepy.
I bet.
But yeah, that was
cool.
last weekend.
That's a cool story.
And I'm like, we're gonna blowtorch this thing open, but just like I want to be here for that.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'm not musical at all, so it's funny that I grew up.
Well, and I wouldn't say musical, but I like music and stuff like that. I've composed music.
Since we're airing out our
okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay,
no, one thing I feel tremendously bad about is that you used to have a Casio keyboard with a bunch of different phasers and stuff.
Oh yeah, the Casio keyboard. Yeah,
and you sold it.
Yes, I did.
So we could drive down to Austin.
That was a Roland Juno 60.
Roland Juno.
I don't remember it at all.
Yeah,
but it was I had a Roland Juno 60. Here's the story, though. I mean, why do you feel bad about that?
I feel bad about it because you sold this. Like, I don't know if it was a prized possession of yours, but like,
it was the first keyboard I ever bought. I don't want to make you feel any worse.
Here's the thing. I have a video of you. I think you just got home from work or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if this video still exists, but I remember taking it.
All right.
And you're like just like quietly playing it in the front room like the morning or the day you were selling it.
Yeah.
It was like the last time you played that piano. And like that made me feel so bad.
It's too bad because
I know you didn't mean to do that.
Not
but
at all.
It was just like, oh, you sold this prized possession so we could go to Texas for the Rooster Teeth convention.
Yes. So here's the thing. People need to understand that we didn't have, especially back then, we didn't have money to travel.
Right.
And you really wanted to go to this Rooster Teeth convention in Texas.
Yeah, Austin,
Texas, which is awesome. And I really wanted to take you because that was going to be something fun for you and me to do.
Yeah.
We didn't have any money, so I said, well, I've got this keyboard, and I hope I can sell the keyboard for, I don't know, $600 or whatever to get money for our road trip.
Yeah.
And I ended up selling it for like $900, which was awesome.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea. So that was literally what paid for the trip. Now, I was happy to sell it, because that was instant money for us to do something that I will never forget that trip.
Yeah,
to me,
that was a great trip.
It was a great trip. I passed a kidney stone.
In Oklahoma, in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I think so, yeah.
Or no. It was Oklahoma City, I think.
Yeah. We got
on the way to Austin,
we got
whatever.
the big Shack drinks, the
we got
Shack
the
cola
Soda
drinks.
Shack drinks.
So all of that stuff.
You gave me a limerita.
I did.
I had my permit.
Yeah, I'm a
was
terrible
15,
father. Yeah,
and you gave me literally a sip.
Yeah, it was a sip
of a limerita, Bud Light, whatever.
Those are pretty gross, by the way. I don't like them.
The next day, I had nothing in my stomach.
Yeah.
I go to the bathroom of this convention center and just puked in the sink.
Yeah. And my plan was.
Yeah.
fulfilled.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't really like alcohol now, so I guess it worked.
It was just we were on a trip, and I thought, well, if you want to take a sip of this, whatever, it's fine.
You know what's funny is that I don't remember a whole lot of the actual convention center. I remember the panels.
Yes. Right.
I remember doing that. I remember doing that balloon toss thing. Do you remember that where they filmed? It was like 5,000 people threw a balloon at this balloon at the same time,
and they did a very super slow motion thing.
Yeah.
It was very cool. And you also met some. It was like a female podcaster. There was one girl.
There was Barbara Dunkelman. She was one of the podcasters. I met Freddie Wong.
Yes,
who does all of those.
Yep.
He did Rocket Jump for a while, and Freddie W, who was like kind of the sorry, popping my piece. Kind of the premier special effects guy on YouTube. From like 2009 to 2012.
Yeah.
I'm sure I showed you a million of his
videos.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember
really
watching
cool.
that stuff. Yeah.
And that inspired me to make videos. I remember we did like, I made like a couple Call of Duty videos.
Yeah,
and
great.
I did muzzle flashes where it was just a PNG.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what you do.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's where I learned the screen setting on Photoshop.
That's okay.
That takes the black background out of it.
That's what I was going to say. I remember either telling you about it or somehow I was telling you about Photoshop or had you, gave you a version of Photo. I don't know. But I remember thinking in my head, wow, Photoshop is really, it took me a long time to learn Photoshop. I resisted it for a long time. And I'm like, I don't know what he's going to be able to do with this. And you just blew me away with what you could do. You learned it really quickly, much faster than I did. And now it's like second nature.
You know what's funny is I always tell people that like the one major thing I learned in high school was to vignette pictures. That was like my biggest, because you like circle the area and then you feather it and then select the opposite and then you add like a black layer and it's like a vignette and then you could change the transparency to like, and I still use that for thumbnails.
Oh,
now.
It's great. That's a great thing. Photoshop is awesome. There's no two ways about it, but it takes a while to get used to and all that.
I remember doing that at the laptop we had up in the living room.
That's right.
And I remember I thought about this recently. Another thing I'll air out on air. We're way past talking about Hot Rod. We'll get back to it in a second. But I remember you got annoyed with me one night because I wanted to keep
one night.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to keep listening to the Crazy Frog song. You remember the Crazy Frog song?
I don't know what it is.
And then it was like dun 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 dun. You don't remember that song?
That's Axel F.
Right, but it was the Crazy Frog version.
Oh,
where it had this little guy.
So you wanted to keep listening to it.
I wanted to keep listening to it, and you were like, "No, I don't want to keep listening to that."
Yeah.
And then, in my infinite child wisdom, I was like, "But what if you looked up like Crazy Elephant or something?" I was like naming I was adding other animal names to try to get you to like look it up, and then hopefully have that video come up again.
Yeah, right.
Be like, "Oh, this is all I found for Crazy Elephant. Is the Crazy Frog song." I'd be like, "Okay,
just play it." Yeah.
And I was like,
"That's funny."
Crazy Lion. I don't know. You could try that. Like, and then
that's so funny.
No, shut up.
I don't remember that, and it's like I do remember early on you guys took to the computer really fast.
Yeah.
You both were
good career move, it turns out.
Yeah, exactly. But you guys both were very it was nothing to you to be on the computer. And I think we have pictures of you with the earlier computers that we had. And they were terrible, giant, big, clunky computers.
We used to huddle around that laptop and watch World's Scariest Police Chases.
Oh, awesome.
And when we were third grade, it was always it was an Oldsmobile Alero running away from these old Crown Vics. And we were like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah. No, it is. I
don't know why the
Oldsmobile
Alero is just like the runaway car.
It always is, though, right? And then
it's like a Cutlass Calais or something.
And then later, after like America's like scariest police chases, there was cops, and it was always the guy without the shirt.
Yeah,
he was always the guy that got.
Anytime for like 2 decades, anytime I came into the kitchen without a shirt on, you and Mom were like, "What are you on, cops?" I was telling.
Right.
So my really good friend Andrew, who we grew up with.
Yeah.
I made a video with him, my brother, and Andrew, and it was called Harry Potter Gets Arrested.
Him, my brother, and Andrew. That's 3.
Wait. I made a video with my brother and Andrew. Okay, that was it. There's just 3 people.
I was like, is there 4 people?
No.
Who do I? Yeah.
Sorry, that I misspoke.
Yeah. Well, you had another friend, Andrew.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah.
But we made a video called Harry Potter Gets Arrested.
Oh,
and
that's right.
This is where...
That's right.
So
yes.
My good friend Andrew, who I saw the other night, has a girlfriend now, lives in Chicago, is an adult. He works for insurance, insurance. Like, he's like full-blown adult. And I was explaining this to his girlfriend.
It's true. He's an insurance guy.
We had very advanced comedy because we did a fake episode of Cops where Harry Potter gets arrested, and we filled a bag with sugar, and Harry Potter was saying, "Oh, that's my magic. That's my magic." Because I'm a wizard, and Nick played the cop, and he's like, "No, this is just crack." And we're like, "Wow, that was pretty advanced comedy."
It was
for
pretty
some 5th graders.
Yeah, it was pretty advanced comedy. You guys were starting early,
yeah. Anyway,
no, it's funny because we always had. That's the funny thing is we always had video cameras, you guys didn't have the film, but video cameras we always had.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Even when they weren't, a thing, we had video cameras. Literally since the day you guys were born, we had video cameras in the house. So you always had the access to it.
I don't know if I would be doing what I'm doing if you didn't show me how to make stop motion animation.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
After watching the Lego Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I always quote that as my very beginning.
Really? Yeah,
is that I found, I don't even know, it might have been pre-YouTube. It might have been pre-YouTube. It might have been like E-Bomb's World or
all right.
Strong Bad or something. But somewhere I found a video. It was the Lego Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
Which someone just made a Lego stop motion version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, of which I've never seen the real film. I've only ever seen the Lego version.
I've never seen that. Maybe that's one of our, if there's any cars in it.
Super spooky movie. Yeah. And the Lego version was even super spooky.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I remember you came into the office back when the office was where Nick's room is now.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I was like, Dad, how did they do this? How did they do this? I was like, how did they make this movie? Yeah. And so you pulled out a camera and a Lego guy.
Were you Joe Pesci when you were a kid?
Hey, wait, what are you doing here?
Am I funny? How am I funny?
No, you tell me. You said I was funny.
Funny how, like a clown funny? No.
So you pulled out a camera, and I remember this very distinctly. A Lego guy, and it was on top of a CD case.
Okay. Yeah.
And you took 4 pictures. You put the Lego guy at the 4 corners of the CD case, and then you played it back really fast, and it looked like the guy rudimentary was going around in a circle. And so I was like, "Whoa!"
It wasn't like Nightmare Before Christmas kind of like animation. It was like
it was very rudimentary.
Very.
But then this led me to make, I don't know, probably hundreds
of
Lego
tons of movies. You made tons of movies.
The storylines sucked. I mean, there was no character development. There was a couple.
There was no
ones,
arc.
There was a couple ones where I was kind of proud of it.
Yeah, and you should.
I remember I did a Lego zombie movie.
Yeah.
That's and the lead was a female. I was very forward. I was very progressive.
There you go. Yes, you were. Yeah.
And she's sitting at a computer, and the first time I ever used sound effects, I used a keyboard typing sound.
Wow.
It's just a picture of her sitting at the keyboard.
Yeah. No, it's cool. That's
but
great.
There's the click, 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 click. And then that led me to make videos with my friends to kind of flesh out these stories.
Yeah.
And then
which is always cool, by the way, when you're growing up, you have friends available to you. As you get older, like they go on and do their own thing.
Yeah.
But when you have when you're growing up and you have friends to be in movies, that's what I did.
Yeah.
I always got my friends to be in the movies. And I'd be like, "Yeah, let's make a movie." And it was always fun. and they were always up for it. And it was like, oh, we had the best time.
Yeah.
And now, as you're older, it's like, what? You want to do what?
I'm not going to make a skit with my friends.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But and then that led to, I was like, well, I'm getting into this whole car thing.
Yeah. You did reviews. We have a video of you doing a review on a little tiny car.
I think it was like a Barbie car. We got it.
I remember
it was a Firebird, right?
Yeah. Well, I remember one where you had the Lego character walking around the car doing a review.
That's funny.
You do.
We gotta. I'll post that
somewhere
maybe when I hit 100,000 subscribers or something.
Right.
But
definitely.
Anyway, the whole point behind all of this, we are getting back to Hot Rod, believe it or not.
Someday, yes.
Is that I think this is just, I don't know, this is just one of those core memory movies that just fit in with that whole era.
Yes.
I can't think about this movie without thinking about being in the back of the Pacifica going down to Shelbyville.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, we used to have a lot of fun doing that.
I can't think of this movie without thinking of, geez, I mean, there's just so much. The old AMC theater back when it freshly opened.
Yeah.
Probably around this era.
Yeah, and this was when I was working at the bank. This was when I was working, and then you talking about Showplace? Wait, which one?
Showplace.
Yeah, Showplace, yes. Yes, actually, yeah, that's true.
I was searching through my old photos today trying to find a picture of a Buick because I'm going to review one on Thursday. And I couldn't find it. But I found a picture of our go-kart.
Oh, you're kidding.
Before we painted it, it was white.
Yes.
It was white and rust.
Yeah, it was. It was.
It was literally pulled out of a field. We had this go-kart.
Yes, we did. Because I told you guys that someday I will buy a go-kart, and you guys didn't believe me.
How much did you get that thing for?
I think it was like $90. It wasn't very expensive. It was.
We had like one good summer with it.
Yeah. By the way, I want you to know, the go-kart was the first item I ever bought completely on my phone. I found it.
Oh.
Yeah, I found it on the phone.
This was probably your BlackBerry, no?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I found it on my phone online. I called the person on the phone. I found their address, I think, even on the phone. Got a map. There wasn't like Google Maps.
Yeah.
But
probably
everything was done. Yeah, I probably
printed it out.
and
I don't know if you could print from a phone at that point.
Everything. This whole transaction was on my phone.
Wow.
It was the most bizarre thing. It was the first and probably only thing I've ever done completely on the phone. And I went and I bought the thing, and
Well, now you do everything on the phone. You can't say that. Like Amazon is all on the phone.
True. But I don't buy stuff on Amazon on the phone. I go on the regular computer.
Well, that's fair. But
I do. Yeah. I go on because for some reason there's something about the phone, and maybe if I had like an iPad or something, it would be different. But the phone is so small to me, and my eyes are bad, and I'm old. I'm old, and
that's why. Do you see how big I put the font for the reads?
I know. I appreciate that because I did the same for my printouts. Are huge print.
But
50-point font.
This movie just brings back that whole era. I mean, I could go on and on and on about things from my childhood, which is just, it's also so weird to me because I still feel like a kid.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'm like, my childhood is set in stone.
Yes.
There's no going back and I remember I walked out of high school and my first thought was like, oh, I got out of my speeding ticket because I had court that morning.
Okay. Yeah.
The morning of the practice for graduation because we had to go practice.
Oh, okay.
We had 700 kids in my class.
Yeah,
I had to go pay that speeding ticket. I got on prom night or the night before prom.
Was that the one that we went?
Yeah, we went to the not to Springfield.
No, Springfield was fun. Yeah. That was actually
it actually was fun.
It was actually fun.
We can get into that later.
To pay that one, yeah.
But we should have bought that MPV. Talk about regrets in my life.
Yes,
that is high up there.
Yeah,
which is probably good because if that's not a huge regret. But
we
found a minivan. We found a Mazda MPV that was manual. I never found a manual one ever again. For sale for $250.
Yes,
in Springfield, and we had the money.
And the thing is, we had the cash.
We had
in our
cash
pockets.
because my ticket in Springfield, my speeding ticket, was way less than we thought.
Yes,
so we had
cash. It was available to us, but the tires were bald.
Tires were bald and the brakes were shot.
Yeah, they were shot.
It was like 3 hours home.
And that was the reason. So you don't know if we had bought that and we had done that, maybe something terrible would have happened.
That's true.
Don't know.
That is
we don't
true.
know. So,
but walking out of high school, I remember one of my first thoughts was, any time from now on when I reference high school, that's already happened.
Right. Yes.
So I already have it in my head.
Yep.
There's no new high school memory, which was strange. And so that's how I feel about my childhood now.
It's very funny, though, because I feel when you talk about that, I feel in my brain, in my head, I feel like I'm like 28.
Interesting.
I don't. It's like I don't feel as old as I am. I am. We joke about it, but I'm like 56. But
you're old.
yeah, I'm. But I'm 56. But I feel like I'm like 28, 29, 30.
Unnamed Movie Car Podcast
32.
starring Zack and the Crypt Keeper.
Wow. Wow.
Hey.
I would do an imitation, but I can't. I could do Gilbert Gottfried.
Rest in peace. Honestly, we got to throw
in peace,
an
absolutely.
RIP in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I love this movie so much. I think I wouldn't say it captures my childhood, but there's definitely aspects of it. Yorma's character, where he's always filming everything, that was me.
Yeah, that was you. That's
getting
true.
back to our go-kart.
Yeah. I'm sorry, the go-kart, yes.
My good friend Jake
yeah.
was skitching behind the go-kart. We
Yes.
used to pull people behind the go-kart with a rope.
Yes.
And he was, I think, on a ripstick.
Probably, yeah.
And our dog ran out, and he jumped and broke his wrist. I think he broke his wrist.
Oh,
he never
probably,
got it like set or anything. He
he probably did break his wrist. Not the dog was fine, but
dog was fine.
Yeah,
dog ran out. Who was a lazy dog. It wasn't even like an aggressive dog.
She was right.
So he jumps, he bails off the ripstick, being pulled behind this go-kart.
Yes.
And probably breaks his wrist, not wearing a helmet, of course.
No, of course not. No, of course not. Because I'm a great parent.
I mean, we used to...
So, no,
well, that didn't stop us, because like 2 winters later, we got a big snow, and we pulled our good friend Andrew behind our truck with a snowboard.
True. Yes, we did.
And I have
we
video.
did do that.
He's
yeah,
snowboarding through people's front lawns.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that is right. That's correct.
But no, I mean, like I resonate so much with so much of this video.
Yeah,
not video. Jeez, this movie, this little YouTube video. No, I resonate so much with this movie. That it really does sort of give those very positive memories, and that's why I love this movie so much. And Napoleon Dynamite, I think.
Oh gosh,
just sort of solidify.
Yep.
Sitting in the back of that Pacifica. Going wherever.
That's the thing is that you know, that's as a parent, you always hope that you will build memories for your kids that they'll look back on and be happy to think about and all that you really try to build great fun memories and so it's nice to hear you say stuff like that.
So getting back to this movie,
sorry, yes,
we will do some trivia. However, one thing I do want to note that I did write down, Roger Ebert gave this a 3 out of 4.
He did.
Roger Ebert actually loved this movie.
Wow.
And
3 out of 4.
Although oddly, he praises the mom's performance.
Oh,
he was like, she brought such reality to this movie, and I was like, she's in it for like 10 seconds.
I think because he was in love with Sissy Spacek. That was Sissy Spacek. Amazing that they got her to do this movie.
But he said she played it as if it were a dramatic role, as if it were a comedy role, and she was kind of like a level-headed
she did.
barometer for this movie.
Yeah, she did a great job.
I think so too, but I was like, that's what you pulled from this movie?
Right, yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of...
But it's rare that Roger Ebert gives a positive review. So 3 out of 4 stars
3
from
out of 4 to a goofy, silly comedy.
That got a 47 on Rotten Tomatoes or something. Like, it's not well loved by critics. It's one of those movies where... I love it. I love it. Like, this is...
Yeah.
For all the reasons we just ranted about for the last hour and a half.
So, trivia.
So trivia, brought to you by, but in no way sponsored by IMDb. During the filming of the opening scene where Rod attempts jumping over the bus, the stuntman playing Rod actually broke his leg.
Oh my god!
So that actually, he was not supposed to hit the truck like that.
Wow.
Which is like such a cornerstone of the movie, because you're like, oh my god. It almost brings, which, to be fair, at the time, this was the rise, the early 2000s were the rise of the Jackass
I was going to say Jackass,
So this is like, that was like kind of what audiences were into, and then you go, oh, you know, when he hits that stuntman like got messed up. He's fine after that, but he did break his leg and stuff, which is definitely interesting, but definitely cringy too.
Definitely.
All of Andy Samberg's stunt doubles had prosthetic noses to make them seem as big as Andy's. Yorma, who played Kevin, and Akiva played a joke on Samberg by requesting that all of the prosthetics be larger than his actual nose. So if you see all the stuntmen, they actually made the prosthetic nose to make him look like Andy Samberg bigger than they needed to be.
Yeah.
Apparently, to make Andy Samberg feel insecure is what the trivia says.
Oh, gosh.
That's just a friendly joke.
I was going to say, those guys knew him so well.
Yeah.
At the time. But
Akiv Yorma and Andy Samberg, they make up the Lonely Island.
Okay.
They did like 2 or 3 studio albums. They did the song like "I'm on a Boat," which I just listened to in the car the other day, which is like just a fantastic.
Did they do?
Hype song.
Jeez. There's a bunch
of
songs.
They did all the digital shorts for SNL.
Yeah.
So Mother Lover, Dick in a Box,
right?
Lazy Sunday.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking of?
No. I was
With
thinking
Chris
of
Parnell. Shout out.
No,
Chris Parnell.
the Chains.
Turtleneck and Chain. Turtleneck and Chain was one of their other EPs.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
And after party or whatever, that just goes on and on.
Or Like a Boss.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on.
Happy birthday to the ground.
Oh yeah, threw it on the ground. That's
throw it on the ground. Yeah.
So obviously this was not an ill intent joke.
No, but it is funny that you mentioned that, because I think there were a couple times when I thought, wow, that nose is really big, and I bet it was.
Oh yeah.
When it was,
but that's something you'd only catch on what? This is probably your 3rd or 4th watch through, so probably your 18th listen through.
Yeah.
Because we grew up with a car with a DVD player in the back.
Yes.
And you listened to all the stuff because you were driving.
Yes. All the way up to North Dakota, we listened to the best of Will Ferrell.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And all of his funny, crazy things. Yeah, exactly.
South Dakota, by the way, because I still haven't been to North Dakota.
Oh, South Dakota. That's right. You're absolutely right. Why did I say North Dakota?
I don't know, because it's the same. It's 50% of the same name. I'm just saying.
All right.
It should just be Dakota. It should just be Dakota.
It should be. Yeah, whatever.
The Cool Beans song was originally pulled by Akiva, but the scene was edited by Samberg and Yorma.
Okay.
They have very hard names.
Yes, they do.
And eventually was reinserted into the scene. So without the other ones knowing.
Okay.
And when it was screened for an audience, the audience loved that part of the Cool Beans song. The cool Beans?
Right.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because it was a bizarre,
it's just a left
exit.
turn.
It's a,
very much Eric Andre kind of humor.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, right.
That's actually not what I meant. But it does fit with Eric Andre. I was thinking of Tim and Eric.
Okay.
Did you ever watch Tim and Eric?
No, I never watched Tim and Eric.
Eric's great.
But
Tim and Eric is... Again, something we would watch in high school. They would just do these skits, and it's very dry humor, very obscure humor.
Really? Okay.
And it's just like it's sleepover humor.
Okay, yeah.
It's
gotcha.
just so...
Gotcha.
I remember me and my friends Ryan, and Michael used to watch this stuff religiously.
Yeah.
And we would bring girls over, too.
Great.
One of which I'm currently dating, but a lot of which were just close girlfriends.
Yeah.
And none of them ever understood or even cracked a smile at this stuff. And we would be clutching our guts, laughing so hard at Tim and Eric.
Normal. That is like that is so typical. I swear, if I ever do a sleepover movie with kids, it'll be like the girls don't understand and the guys are laughing their brains out.
Well, that and trying to laugh but stay quiet is the funniest thing in the world.
It is. That is true.
If you don't,
right. Anyway,
have you ever heard of Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie?
No.
So it's a movie. Actually, has Will Ferrell in it.
Does it?
Yes.
Wow.
So the story is
it is a $1 billion
movie,
yeah.
And they make a movie for $1 billion, and like they spent the money on a Johnny Depp impersonator, and they got him an all diamond suit to wear, and it's only like a 4-minute long movie.
Yeah.
So the company wants their $1 billion back, so they have to like figure out how to pay off this $1 billion.
I see.
So they buy a dying mall. To like try to make the money back.
Yeah.
And it's funny. But if you want like alt obscure humor, Tim and Eric are the top.
All right. We'll have to check that out sometime.
I could go into that, but I won't. I'm in a very nostalgic mood. All of the pictures in the dining room of Kimball and Powell in the Kimball and Powell house are real childhood photos of Andy Samberg and Yorma.
Really?
Which I always wonder where they get that stuff for movies. If like even in like big budget movies, like, let's just say Avengers.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Are they calling up like Robert Downey Jr.'s mom and being like, "Hey, do you have a childhood photo of him?" Like,
it could happen. I don't know.
Like, if you become an actor, should you just have like 8 childhood photos on hand?
I don't think I have 8 childhood photos.
Well, I don't think your parents looked at you 8 times.
No. And if they did, they didn't want to remember me.
There's a funny comedian that does. He's like, I have more pictures of my newborn son than my dad ever looked at me ever.
Right? Yes.
Like,
it's so true.
I think it's Bill Burr.
Yeah, it's so
funny and so true.
Well, I could see Bill Burr saying it too, but yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
So yeah, I always wonder where they get those childhood photos.
I don't know.
Some of them, sometimes in movies, you could see are like so obviously photoshopped.
Yeah,
that it's like, it's just so rough.
No,
so here's your answer.
Mm-hmm.
Rod tumbles down the hill.
Yeah.
For 47 seconds.
Wow.
47 seconds of the movie is
That's a
just
long
him
time.
tumbling, which
That's a
is
long time.
great. Like we said, it's the reverse bell curve. And,
it is. So
just fantastic.
Well, and the first time you see him, you're kind of like, ha ha ha, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, it's going on. And,
I get it.
And then you're going on the curve.
Again.
Yeah, you're going on the curve back up, and it's getting very. And then you think it's over.
Yeah.
And they have this nice shot of the mountains.
Yeah.
And it looks peaceful. He comes into frame.
Yeah. Tracy Morgan is notorious for doing this on sets.
Oh yeah?
I've heard a couple podcasts of people who work with him.
Falling?
No, not falling, but like he used to do this bit where he would like just kind of rub his stomach.
Okay.
And just tap his belly.
Yeah.
And people who've worked with Tracy Morgan are like kind of off put by it at first.
Okay.
But they said by the end of like, 5-week shoot, they're like, it's the funniest thing in the entire world.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those like long bake humor things.
Yeah.
Where like it ends up being funny because it becomes ironic, and then it's ironic that it's ironic, and then it just Yeah. So
exactly.
that was such a great scene.
It is
very
good.
Originally intended as a vehicle for Will Ferrell. This movie.
Wow.
Which kind of makes sense with like the movie Semi-Pro that he did.
Yeah.
Step Brothers, where he plays a couple of roles where it's like way older than you should be. I think Will Ferrell as a stuntman, like an aging stuntman, would be hilarious.
Yeah.
The Lonely Island rewrote the script because it couldn't be read without Ferrell in mind. So they did a lot of rewrites to like try to change it from that.
Yeah.
And he didn't want the movie to be an impression of Ferrell. Oh, so they rewrote it so it was they weren't doing like a bad Will Ferrell impression.
Oh, gotcha.
Will Ferrell wasn't in it, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But yeah. Also, speaking of which, I should see if I could find it again. I found a clip on TikTok.
Okay.
It was a deleted scene from Terminator.
Okay.
And it was a
with Will Ferrell?
With Will Ferrell. No. I don't know why it just made me think of this.
Yeah.
There's a deleted scene where Arnold plays a Southern guy.
What? In Terminator?
Yes, a Southern gymnast. He's like a bodybuilder with a Southern accent, I swear to God. And it was the reason why they based the soldiers off of him. So apparently in Terminator, they based all of the Terminators off of this one guy to look like this one guy.
Okay. And then
So he plays the one guy, and he's like a Southern bodybuilder.
So when you woke up from this dream, what did you think? Oh, no, it's bizarre. That is like
I will
a
see if
weird,
I can send it to you. It's
bizarre,
very strange.
Okay,
there's a couple of TikToks I really want to send you.
Well,
I'll have to download them and send them via text.
It is, it is interesting that the story behind how they would have chosen a certain person
if you
to model things after. Yeah,
the Terminator looks like a dude.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
like
yeah.
There is it's kind of weird that they never mention why he looks the way he does.
Exactly. Although they do show in the beginning, they show other Terminators that are not Arnold Schwarzenegger. They're other dudes. They're other like big buff dudes.
Yeah.
And and so you can tell that there's different models of these different people. So anyway,
let me see. I lost my place here. Okay, during the big jump at the stadium, Andy Samberg's real-life mother and father can be seen in the crowd.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
Fun. I love that. That's
if I ever got into acting, I think it'd be cool to have my friends and family do cameos and stuff, because it means the world to me, and it would mean the world to them.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't take anything away from the movie.
No.
I couldn't point them out, but it's kind of cool that they're in it.
Well, what I like, and we mentioned this on another podcast, where it would be great. In the other guys, a recent podcast about the other guys, where
there's a spider on your
another one again
stand around the back. Yeah,
that was the same. That it looks exactly like the same one from last time.
Yeah,
remember we were doing this.
You're gonna kill it, or you're just gonna leave him?
No, I'm gonna leave him. Do you want me to kill him?
No, it's fine. I'll find him later and kill him.
I don't know, for whatever reason. I think it's. I don't care. Now
I go full Armageddon on the creatures I find down here.
Well, for the most part,
I saw spiders, and I took the Febreze and I just sprayed them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, death by Febreze.
He's gone. He's fine. Yeah, he's whatever.
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, about I lost my
doing the cameos, with the parents. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the other guys, the policemen of the month were other people in this movie,
and they were the grip and
and I totally would love to do that. I would love to hide things like that.
Yeah.
Like put people's names all over the place. Yeah. Like on refrigerators or on doors.
Daniel Craig was a stormtrooper in Star Wars.
Yes,
I also found out from the recent podcast, Liam Neeson played one of the stormtroopers.
No.
So technically, he's played two people in the Star Wars universe.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because he's Qui-Gon Jinn.
Right, exactly. Yes. So
very proud of myself for getting that name out without stuttering.
Yes.
I am Qui-Gon Jinn.
I cannot say that, so I won't try. Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. Prior to the film's release, The Lonely Island, composed of the three that we talked about, promoted the film. During Comedy Central movie marathons, in the promos, the trio attempted to convince viewers that Hot Rod was a story of a sex offender, and he does the stunts to raise money to sex offend. Which I thought was just such a funny verb. Yeah. I had to add it in here. Do you see the spider?
No, there's no spider. There's
I'm
nothing.
Freaked out.
No,
now
you're looking,
spider.
But I have little floaties in my eyes, which makes me think that I see stuff.
But I thought that was funny.
That is hilarious.
He raises money so he can go and sex offend, which is just a funny verb.
Okay. Yeah, I never heard of that before.
Filmed in Vancouver, British Columbia.
It is okay. Yeah.
As we knew.
Yep.
Will Arnett was only on set for 2 days, so in the first scene when he drives up in his car, it's not actually Will Arnett. Which is interesting. So,
it is interesting.
They only shot 2 days.
Wow.
I'll be in a movie for 2
Okay,
days.
all right. Yeah.
I'll get loyalties for the rest of my life for 2 days.
Yeah.
And then last one here, at the beginning of the scene where Rod introduces Denise to the crew, Rico is describing a dream he had the night before to Dave.
Yes.
In a couple of shots, you can tell Bill Hader is trying to use his beer can to cover the fact that the description of the dream is making him laugh.
Yeah,
it's definitely
hilarious.
Very SNL.
Yes.
Where
very funny.
There's an SNL skit where Bill Hader's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And it's a power wheelchair.
Okay.
And he backs up in the scene and he can't see behind him and he's dragging the whole table, the whole set with him.
Oh my gosh.
And so he starts laughing and you just see him turning his face away and his body just shake. Because he was pushing, I forget her name, it was one of the SNL actresses, and she whispers in his ear, it's me, Bill. Because then he was like, if she's here, that means the whole set has been pushed behind him.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's
Bill Hader's one of my favorite actors ever.
He's really cool because, first of all, I think he's really funny.
Yeah.
But second of all, he's very versatile.
Yeah.
I mean, he can do just a regular guy.
Yeah.
But then he can do characters. Like, what was his famous character on Saturday Night Live?
Stefan.
Stefan.
Written by John Mulaney.
Really?
Yes.
Was written by John Mulaney?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Bill Hader and John Mulaney are very close.
Okay.
John Mulaney actually recently went to rehab for drug abuse and stuff.
You mentioned that, yeah.
Bill Hader and Seth Meyers were actually the two that did The Intervention.
Wow.
They actually, which is kind of, I wish that there was footage, but also don't wish.
Yes.
It was like Fred Armisen, Seth Meyers, Bill Hader, Andy Samberg. They did an intervention with John.
Gosh.
It was like this star-studded intervention.
Oh my god!
And I was like, oh my god, to be a fly on the wall for that. And he's like, no one made a joke. It was very serious, all this stuff. Obviously, because John had actually a cocaine addiction.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just it's cool to see that cast has really stuck together too.
And that's awesome. But it would have to have all of those incredibly funny, wonderful people in that room together.
Yeah,
and just have such a serious thing would be so bizarre, so like just otherworldly.
But yeah, I mean, talk about just the high level of comedy that came out of that era.
Oh gosh, yeah. They had some great stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and you know, I think of the Jeopardies with Will Ferrell and the fake Sean Connery.
Played by recently passed away. Why am I blanking on his name?
Wait, who passed away?
Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald. Oh, Norm Macdonald did. He did.
He played Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds and did.
Oh, Sean Connery.
Sean Connery is a different one, but he was. I thought he had passed away, but Norm Macdonald did an awesome imitation of I was going to say John Travolta, but that's not true.
No,
of Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds,
especially when he had the mustache and he was chewing gum and he's
the
like
big hat.
And the big hat
kept getting bigger.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's just so funny.
So good.
So Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live.
Anyway, so
are there? Did you have other notes?
No, actually, I just had the pictures of the cars and stuff. But that's
we're running definitely
way long
because we also started this timer after we started.
We did. So I'm sorry if you're still with us. The three dogs that are still with. By the way, I think has our 50th gone out yet? Has it been? Is it up?
Yes.
I've not received an email yet from anyone, so no one has claimed the prize.
You know what though? You know why it might be? Because I know we have hundreds of thousands of viewers.
Yes.
Vehicle 19 is on Amazon Prime streaming.
Is it? No.
So yeah.
Okay.
I think it might be on like Hulu and Netflix too.
Like
it's
fine. Nobody wants it. So I think I actually figured out the reason why we haven't gotten any emails.
Yeah.
Is because our listeners are three dogs and they cannot type.
They can't type.
You know,
that is a big issue with their natural evolution.
If you're a dog, and you want this video. Have your own. Ask your owner.
Yeah, woof woof, bark bark.
To type in. The email. So anyway, I just thought it was funny.
First, pick up my poop with those scarily thin bags that come from the store. Yeah. They're very awkwardly thin.
Very thin.
You don't feel the poop, but you feel the heat.
Yeah, exactly. It's really gross.
Pick up my poop and then
like be looking at me.
Unnamed
be looking at me like, hey, are we going to continue the walk as I'm trying to? Yeah, exactly.
Did you walk our dog today?
I did.
Did she poop on the walk?
She did.
Oh, really? She pooped today too.
Yeah, she's been.
She got a little stomach bug.
Yeah. So, but she's fine. No, between the rainstorms.
Oh yeah. She doesn't really get out too much.
No, and I just had to literally run her.
Yeah.
Like, hey, keep going, because it was raining all day long, and it was crazy to try to get her out there. So again, Midwest rainy season. Lots of stuff going on. But
would you change the channel?
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Me neither.
I would not change the channel. In fact, I would sit down and watch it. I actually would sit down and watch it because it's so entertaining, so funny. I caught lines in this movie. We talked about that. I caught lines that I'd never heard before.
When the paramedics are leaving the house and he's... So they did this great thing because it's this great... It's this thing that all movies do.
Right.
Where like when someone's getting to a crime scene or something with paramedics, the paramedics are openly discussing it.
Yeah. And they're leaving.
For the audience to kind of get oh, okay, that's what's happening.
Which would never happen in real life.
Which would never happen. So then one of the paramedics is leaving. He's like, I give him a week tops. And the other paramedic looks over and goes, that's really insensitive, Bob.
Literally, that
it was like calling out this great 80s movie trope.
Right.
Of
exactly, Well, and then when one of the guys is filling up the pool with water because they're going to hold... They're gonna hold Rod underneath the water so he can practice his breath control.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Rico. Rico's filling up the pool and he goes, "Pools are really good about holding water. Pools are really good things for holding water." It's like,
that and the whole AM radio bit is great. But then I didn't catch this till the last watch through we just did before this podcast. the Rod's about to jump.
Yeah.
And he says over AM radio, "This is something you got to see to believe."
Yes.
And it's
exactly.
like-
I'd heard that before, and I was like,
it's
"Wait,
AM
what?"
radio.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the whole point of it is that you don't see it.
Yeah.
So
I
it's just
never,
fantastic.
well, and I never caught the dream before that Rico is saying that you were just saying that Bill Hader was laughing at. I never caught that before, and I was like thinking about it. I'm like, what a crazy, bizarre thing to throw in the middle of this movie. It's hilarious.
So definitely a bunch of rewatchability.
Absolutely.
Such a great,
No
easy
doubt about
watch.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's like you don't have to think. You know the whole thing. I love the movie that they made within the movie.
Yeah.
Of the stunt man and all that. That was really great. So many great, wonderful things that they put together. So jam packed. Again, easy watch. Yeah, definitely.
Can't recommend it enough.
Yep.
So
next one. What's our next movie?
it's not a movie.
Okay. Wow. Is it a documentary?
No, that would still be a movie, Dad.
I know.
It's a show.
It's a show.
Now I'm gonna pick just like 2 episodes out of the show.
Okay. All right.
However, this is a show that I have not seen before. I've never seen. Here's the thing. I sat down and watched just the intro credit scene today.
Okay.
And I was like, "Yo, this is the coolest show ever."
Really?
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I am
You've not
planning
seen
on.
it.
I've
Okay.
not seen it. I'm planning on probably just throwing this on while I work. 'Cause I
Okay.
do that a lot.
All right,
And
yeah.
just running through. There's 4 seasons of it on Netflix.
4 seasons. All right.
So I am picking season 1, episode 2.
Season 1 episode.
And
Okay,
then
you have to write this down.
I want to say season 3, episode 6
Okay.
of Knight Rider.
Knight Rider.
So we're gonna talk about Kit.
Wow.
The reason I picked episode 2 is where he gets Kit.
Is it?
So
I thought he
it's-
got it in the first episode.
It said on Netflix. I just read the description
Okay,
real quick.
all right.
It says Michael Knight is introduced to Kit.
Okay.
All
right.
And then season 3, I want to say episode 6.
I can't do that.
There is. I don't know if have you seen Knight Rider like all the way through?
Oh, I used to watch Knight Rider, but and I don't know why. It was a very 80s.
Yeah.
Like very.
I
80s.
watched the intro and I got excited. I'm
Yeah,
like, I want to go drive my
yeah.
RX-7 right now.
Yeah, it is. It's the thing that makes you want to drive a Trans Am.
Season 3, episode I want to say 6, is where
Okay.
they introduce Car,
Oh, okay, right.
which is the evil twin of Kit.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
which is-
because that happens.
Kind of a
You
little
know.
jumping the sharkish, a little tongue in cheek. It's basically a killer car,
Yeah.
but of Kit. It's
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's
yeah.
it's a double of Kit, and he goes around. I think he like purposefully crashes into things,
Yeah.
and he's like
Yeah.
the evil version of Kit.
It's funny that you mentioned this because on Netflix they have the version or the versions. They have the episodes. They have it on there, and I started watching the very first one.
Yeah.
because I wanted to because I never watched the very first one, and I thought this would be a fun thing to review.
Yeah.
And but I never announced it. I never told you about it ever. I did because they also have them. They have all of them at Menards in a DVD pack.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember they've had that there the last 15 years. That exact box,
and it's like
actually,
$48. It's like really expensive.
I also noticed each episode's an hour long. They're 48-minute
long.
episodes.
Yeah.
So,
Much.
I'm very much looking forward to this. We're not going to do every single episode. We're not going to talk about every character and story.
We did see a version of the car at
and
Volo.
also something else is that
George
I
Barris
noticed,
didn't sign it.
I think he did.
I think he did sign that. That's an inside joke of George Barris, but yeah.
George Barris went around and signed
He
all
signed
these
every
cars
car,
at this
yeah.
museum that weren't even related to
Right,
him.
yeah.
I think he signed R2-D2's forehead.
Probably, yes, yeah.
If robots have foreheads. They also, I think on Netflix, have Knight Rider 2000.
Oh, really?
Where
Oh.
it was like Kit gets a new body, and it's it's a WS6 Trans Am from like the late 90s.
Really?
It's like like the one that your bitch sister had.
Oh, okay.
The red one. It looks
Okay.
just like that. They
Okay.
updated Kit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, very weird. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, that's odd, but yeah.
So I thought maybe down the road we would do like Knight Rider 2000 and talk about.
Yeah, we could. I mean,
I think those are F.
Oh my gosh,
F-body GMs.
There are so many, and as we've talked, and as I listen to these, as I walk the dog, I think of so many different movies that we can do. It's gonna be a while before we run out of
next
movies.
Next up, we're gonna be talking about the original run of the Knight Rider series, not 2000.
Yep.
Not 2000. I can't be clear enough. But
okay, right.
we're gonna be talking about, I believe, the episode where he gets Kit and the episode with the evil Kit.
Okay.
Those are the two to watch if you do want to watch preemptively.
Yeah.
But if not, if you're just like a Knight Rider fan, then you don't really have to do your homework. So.
Well, I actually will be looking forward to watching these because I used to love the show.
Yeah.
And the overacting and terrible acting,
I've never seen an episode. I've never seen an episode of Knight Rider.
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Okay. The Hoff. He's
Open invite on the show.
Yes. He has done a whole bunch of different things. Obviously, Baywatch was a big one. But previous to Baywatch was Knight Rider. And the acting in this one, and maybe because he was new to it, was so overacted.
Yeah.
It was so over the top. So I think you'll find it kind of funny to watch that. Very much along the lines of Charlie's Angels. That was like late 70s kind of thing. But kind of the same feel of all those. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So next episode, we'll be doing Knight Rider.
Knight Rider
the original
sounds
TV series.
That sounds good.
From like 1985 or something.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for listening. If you check us out on YouTube, check us out on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get podcasts, we're there.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and I guess we'll catch you next episode.
All right. Bye-bye.